Vybz TV, the home of politics.
Now, thank you so much guys for watching, and please welcome back once again to this channel. Please subscribe just in case you are here for the first time, and also you can press the notification bell so that YouTube can automatically update you immediately I post a video here. Otherwise, I really want to appreciate my returning subscribers so much, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is currently. So feel very much welcome as you watch, and I really don't take your support for granted. So Raila Odinga, together with the entire Azimio la Umoja Alliance, have been forced to go back to the drawing board politically after President William Ruto, together with his deputy Rigathi himself, are indirectly rejecting the bipartisan approach talks that will be conducted by the representatives appointed by both parties, the Azimio la Umoja Alliance and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, in parliament very soon. So yesterday, President William Ruto appointed the legislatures a 7-member panel who will actually represent the Kenya Kwanza Alliance during the bipartisan approach talks with the Azimio la Umoja Alliance. But the reason as to why, in my considered opinion, I've concluded that William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance are indirectly rejecting the bipartisan approach talks with the Azimio is because, first of all, let's begin with the legislatures or the representatives appointed by William Ruto yesterday. If you look at that list very keenly, you will actually see that some of the members appointed by William Ruto actually belong to the Azimio la Umoja Alliance legally, but they just defected to the Kenya Kwanza Alliance immediately after Raila Odinga lost the presidential elections to President William Ruto. This guy called Adan Kenan, who was elected as the member of the National Assembly through the Jubilee Party. Jubilee Party legally belongs to the Azimio la Umoja Alliance, but this MP Adan Kenan actually defected to the Kenya Kwanza Alliance to support President William Ruto. That is the first guy who belongs to the Azimio la Umoja Alliance legally. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, is the member of the National Assembly from Kibwezi constituency, who was elected in as the MP as through the Maendeleo Chapchap party. Maendeleo Chapchap party actually belongs to Alfred Mutua, even though Alfred Mutua is in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance physically, but legally his own party, Maendeleo Chapchap party, signed an agreement with the Azimio la Umoja Alliance actually before the elections. So that guy also belongs to the Azimio la Umoja Alliance. So these are the kind of guys who William Ruto appointed during to represent the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. That is why we had some of the Azimio la Umoja Alliance legislatures are actually complaining about this appointment of these two guys. Somebody like Opiyo Wandayi, who is actually, is it the minority whip or the minority leader in the National Assembly, who is actually complaining on behalf of Azimio la Umoja Alliance, who is actually complaining on behalf of Raila Amolo Odinga, that if William Ruto was actually serious with the bipartisan approach talks and he means well for this country, then William Ruto should not have appointed these guys. He should have appointed other members in that 7-member panel, apart from these guys who belong to the Azimio la Umoja Alliance. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, as to why I'm saying that William Ruto and Rigathi and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance are rejecting indirectly the bipartisan approach talks, let us look at the strict conditions and the strict demands that are actually set by the Kenya Kwanza Alliance ahead of this bipartisan approach. For example, somebody like Rigathi clarified very clear that for the bipartisan approach talks to begin, first of all, Raila Odinga must declare that, or must acknowledge that William Ruto is actually the president of the Republic of Kenya publicly, and he must also apologize to the public and to President William Ruto that he said before that he is not the president of the Republic of Kenya. Because according to Rigathi himself, there's no way that William Ruto and Rigathi can have a meaningful talks if Raila Odinga does not acknowledge that William Ruto is actually the president of the Republic of Kenya. So these conditions and these demands that Raila Odinga must fulfill first before the bipartisan approach, I don't see Raila Odinga doing that. I don't see Raila Odinga giving into those demands, saying that to go to the public and apologize to William Ruto, to go to the public and to clarify and to acknowledge that William Ruto is actually the president. But the condition is being set by Rigathi Gachagua that before the bipartisan approach, Raila Odinga and the entire Azimio la Umoja Alliance must acknowledge that William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza regime is actually a legit regime and is actually the government of the Republic of Kenya. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, also Raila Odinga, according to these conditions and these demands, must go to the public and declare that or admit to the public that he actually lost the previous 2022 general elections to President William Ruto, and what he was talking about, the whistleblower and the schemes that he was saying that the whistleblower made that he actually won the previous elections with 8.1 million votes against William Ruto's 5.9 million votes is actually false information. That is actually to the demands set by the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Do you think that Raila Odinga will go to the public and admit to the public that he actually lost the previous elections? If Raila Odinga has not yet admitted up to date that he actually lost the previous 2017 elections to Uhuru Kenyatta even after the handshake, how will Raila Odinga acknowledge or admit that he actually lost the elections to William Ruto? What Raila Odinga wants through this bipartisan approach talks is actually the positions or something like that. But even though he has talked about the high cost of living, that will be the main subject there. But I don't see the high cost of living being the subject of the discussions. If it was actually the high cost of living, there should be no appointment of the members to between the both parties to talk in parliament. High cost of living is something that William Ruto himself can wake up and solve that issue within one day. But William Ruto has already ensured some measures that he has set to capture or to completely do away with the high cost of living, even though it will take time. But soon, he actually talked about importation of food commodities. So we expect maize and also the prices of unga and basic commodities to go down a little bit very, very soon. So the high cost of living will not be the main subject of the bipartisan approach talks. The main issue here, they will talk about position. They will talk about the national accord-like approach in that meeting so that they can weigh themselves, so that Azimio la Umoja Alliance can feel satisfied and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance can feel satisfied in one way or another. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua and some Kenya Kwanza Alliance members of the National Assembly made it very clear that the bipartisan approach talks will not be between Raila Odinga and President William Ruto. It will be between Raila Odinga and the appointed representatives for the bipartisan approach talks in Parliament. Because according to Rigathi Gachagua, there is no way that William Ruto can interact with Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga, according to Rigathi Gachagua, is a nobody. He is actually a mere citizen, just like any other citizen here in Kenya. So there's no way that a citizen can go to talk to the president. If Raila Odinga was actually wanted to talk with William Ruto in one way or another, then he must use his members of the National Assembly to go on with a motion to Parliament so that they can discuss. That is how he is going to approach William Ruto, through his members of the National Assembly in Parliament, because actually Raila Odinga was not elected by anybody. He is just a mere citizen. And also, just like I had said, Raila Odinga cannot interact with the president because he's just a mere citizen. That was my analysis for today, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to think. Let me hear your thoughts on the comment section below. Otherwise, I don't have much to add. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, My name is Json. Bye bye.